tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, and the tennis pastor, coming back at you with another video. Y'all, let's get it rolling. Let's see what Rafael Nadal is doing. What is Nadal doing? Let's check out Rafael Nadal. Need to cover that. Okay. A Nadal fan just said something. I think it was Miguel Thomas. God, I hope I got his name right. He said it's going to be... He said Nadal will fight tooth and nail for his U.S. Open title. And he was speaking of against the Djokovic. Because, you know, I've been talking about the Djokovic, saying that Djokovic can beat Nadal and Federer when he gets ready. He's back in that level. So... let's address a lot of things with Nadal. There's a lot of questions I could ask in this video and answer. Let me see how the video goes. If I don't answer the questions in this video, I'll make an immediate video right after this one. I want to take care of Nadal in the next couple of hours. I want to get all this Nadal, any questions about Nadal. Can he win the US Open? Is he the favorite? Who's the best player in the world between Nadal and the Djokovic? It's close. All that stuff is close, man. And it could go either way. Okay, but let's ask the first question here is, no. The first question is, can Nadal win the, this is really a stupid question, but it's, let's ask the question anyway. Can Nadal win the U.S. Open? Of course he can. He has a great chance of winning the U.S. Open. He's playing some of the best tennis of his career. At the age of, how old is that? I don't know how old Nadal is. Nadal 32 or 33. See, don't get me the line here. So he's playing the best. What I do know, this is the oldest he's ever played. So Nadal is playing the best tennis of his career at his oldest age of playing tennis. Now, okay, like I said, of course Nadal can win the U.S. Open. Now here's the question. Now, who should be the favorite? Should Nadal be the top favorite? Should he be the top favorite, or should the Djokovic be the top favorite? Okay. Now I can give y'all my personal. Now y'all know I told y'all now. I mean, I'm probably gonna take. I mean, it's close. Forget who my picks are. I probably got the Djokovic to win the U.S. Open. He may be my personal favorite, but let me just try to be... I don't want to be biased. I mean, it's close. It can go either way, people. Listen, if somebody say Nadal, if the Nadal fans say, no, Nadal is the top favorite, it should be because he's the U.S. Open champion. But see, you don't even have to use that. Nadal is playing well enough to be the favorite. So I have no problem. Like I told y'all, I just think the Djokovic, if it's super level the Djokovic against super level Nadal, I'm going to, listen, I know picks and favorites. Just because somebody's a favorite don't mean they're going to win. But to me, if you ask me personally, my favorite probably is not even probably. Well, I said probably because it's close. I'm going to say the Djokovic. He's my favorite, okay, to win. But I have no problem with somebody saying Nadal is the favorite. He could be, he's legitimately the top. Listen, Nadal could legitimately be the top favorite, not just because he's a U.S. Open champion, not because he's the #1 seed, it's because he's playing that well. And I'm going to try to answer that next question. Who's the best player in the world between Nadal and the Djokovic? That's a toss-up, okay? So... let me deal with the first question. Should Nadal, or is Nadal the top favorite? He can be to win. Like I said before, I'm going to probably say, me personally, I got the Djokovic as, I'm just saying personally what I feel is, I got the Djokovic as the favorite to win the U.S. Open. Now, that don't mean he can't get upset and get beat. And, But I have no problem. No problem whatsoever. It's close. It can go either way. Nadal can be the favorite. The Djokovic can be the favorite. I can give reasons for why Nadal's the favorite. And I'm talking about, I don't have to make up anything. Not just Nadal. See, it ain't just that Nadal's #1 in the world. Not that he's a #1 seed. He's playing well enough. Nadal, I like what Nadal did. The Djokovic barely beat him now in the Wimbledon. Nadal fans do remind me of that. that. It went 5 sets, and it was close, tooth and nail. And but then Nadal comes right back. He lays off the Rogers Cup, Montreal, but he comes right back and beat Tsitsipas. And Tsitsipas beat the Djokovic. Okay? But Nadal, he booty whooped Tsitsipas. Beat him good. He blasted him in the final. And that was a big match because if Tsitsipas would have won that, I would have had Tsitsipas as a lower favorite to win the U.S. Open. But see, that changed the whole dynamics. Nadal, he kept Tsitsipas down. He showed Tsitsipas that he ain't quite ready he's ready for a little bit of the big league, but not the big championship league, okay? And remember, Tsitsipas upset the Djokovic. Okay, so let me just go ahead and go to the next question. Because, see, that Tsitsipas match had a lot to do with who I see as the best player. Because the best player right now, forget who's number one. We know Nadal is officially number one. But we just say, who's the better player in the world right now between Nadal? Forget what the ATP say officially. We just say, who's playing the best tennis right now between Nadal and the Djokovic? It's close. Okay, so let's go back to because you got to go back. It's got to do with who's playing the best now. So let's go back to last month or so. We ain't going back before then because we talking about right now. So I'm going to include the last month and up until now. The Djokovic beats Nadal in a close, like the Nadal fan said, Miguel Thomas, tooth and nail. Okay, the Djokovic barely beats Nadal. The Djokovic go ahead and give Kevin Anderson a good behind whooping in the Wimbledon. The Djokovic wins his 19th. God, he ain't there yet. He may get there, but he wins his 13th major. Okay. And so then, but then the Djokovic comes, so the Djokovic is like on top of the world now. You can say at that time, well, you know what? Somebody can say at that time, the Djokovic is like the best player, but not really necessarily because, you know, how long will you sustain it? So the Djokovic comes to the Rogers Cup, Montreal, he gets upset by Tsitsipas. Okay, so that take him down a little notch as far as being okay. Okay, so somebody can still say, well, it's sort of even. Sort of brought it back even between him and Nadal, I guess, who's the best player. But then Nadal comes the next week, okay, in the, not the next week, the same week, okay, that the Djokovic get upset by Tsitsipas. Nadal, he gives Tsitsipas a good, old-fashioned, beat him with an apple tree limb. Beat Tsitsipas with an apple tree limb, a peach tree limb, and an orange tree limb in the final of the Rogers Cup. All right. So Nadal's showing, wait a minute, I'm the best player in the world. I'm not just number one. And I didn't let even though the Djokovic beat me in a tooth and nail, I didn't let some lesser player like Tsitsipas beat me. And we know Tsitsipas was playing really well. So yeah, okay. So, all right, so after that happens, okay, Nadal's like on top slightly. Back on top of the world. He was always on top of the world, but I'm talking about in comparison to Djokovic. So it's close. Who's the better player right now? Okay? So then so we giving Nadal a slight edge. Then the Djokovic comes back this week, win the Cincinnati Masters, and achieves what nobody else has achieved, the 9 Master Series Golden Masters. All right. So here we are. So who's the better player in the world? The Djokovic or Nadal? People, I'm going to be honest about it. Now, I know y'all heard me saying I'm going to take the Djokovic over Federer quick. And I'm going to take, now listen, the Djokovic versus Nadal. Now, I sort of agree with the Nadal fan. It's tooth and nail. And, I probably will take the Djokovic, but It won't be as quick as I take the Djokovic over Federer the way Federer is playing right now. I'm not saying Federer couldn't get it together. You never know, man. Federer could. Hey, there's a side of me that thinks Federer could get it together in some way win the U.S. Open. You know, the way the narrative can change. But I'm just saying, let me get back to Nadal and Federer. I mean, not Nadal and the Djokovic. But yeah, man, this could be close. Okay, let me try to answer the question, though. Let me try to stay on cue. So, who's the better player in the world right now? Okay. Oh, man, it's close. It could go either way because I just showed you. The Djokovic wins the Wimbledon. So somebody might say, well, no, it's the Djokovic because he's won the most recent major. But then, like I said before, the Djokovic dropped down a little notch for a second and lost against a lesser player, Tsitsipas. And then Nadal gave Tsitsipas a behind whooping. Okay, but then the Djokovic comes back and win the Golden Masters. All right, so I'm calling it even. I think it's even. I'm not trying to be politically correct. So I will say this here. Whoever wins the U.S. Open between Nadal and the Djokovic, between those two, now both of them could get upset. But if both of those guys, whoever win it, if one of those guys win it, I'm going to declare that one the best in the world. They will break the tie. So if the Djokovic wins the U.S. Open, he will be the best player in the world. I don't care if Nadal's officially number one. And if Nadal wins the U.S. Open, he will be the best player in the world. Okay? And people, I want to say something Wikipedia said that has to do with what the Nadal fans said. The Nadal fan, Miguel Thomas, he said it's going to be Nadal will fight tooth and nail. And we know that's nothing new. We know Nadal fights tooth and nail. But let me say something about the Djokovic-Nadal rivalry that Wikipedia brings up. Now, y'all have heard me, and I know the Djokovic fans, they love me for probably saying it. You know what? They may not love me, but I think the Djokovic fans, they give me credit that I do know how good the Djokovic is and how great the Djokovic is. But people, even though the Djokovic dominated Nadal, and during his peak, and during Nadal's peak, during their rivalry, Wikipedia makes this clear, and Nadal fans have reminded me of this. Nadal did beat the Djokovic sometime. The record was 19-8, and some of them was majors that Nadal did win. But Wikipedia did say this here. They said even though the Djokovic dominated Nadal, they said Nadal still, because he fights tooth and nail. Wikipedia didn't use the word tooth and nail, but they said Nadal's competitiveness still made that one of the top two rivalries of all time, meaning those were still great matches, okay? Even if Nadal lost. And because some of those matches was close, like that 6-hour Australian Open, people, Wikipedia brings this up too, that, well, not just that. Let me leave Wikipedia alone. Wikipedia makes it clear Nadal made that the top two rivalry, one or two of all time. And that thing that the Nadal fans said about Nadal will fight tooth and nail to defend his title against the Djokovic, people, I do sort of agree with that. I think, okay, I'm going to take the Djokovic quick against Federer. Not saying that Federer couldn't some way beat the Djokovic, but against Nadal, I will have to think about that a little bit. I do feel Nadal, there's a side of me that think that Nadal could win the U.S. Open, and he could beat the Djokovic because it's close. I'm going to probably take the Djokovic, and I got the Djokovic slightly favored over Nadal, but I do agree with the Nadal fan. Nadal ain't going down easy. The Djokovic's going to have to play at the super level to take that title away from Nadal. So I will have to think about that a little bit. Who will I take? I mean, I'd probably take the Djokovic, but if somebody came up and said, Magic Man, I bet you $100 that Nadal would beat the Djokovic, I'd probably say, I bet you, but let's go $20. So you see, I think Nadal could possibly beat the Djokovic. So that's why I say, let's not go 100. Let's go 20, okay? All right, people, I think I answered a lot of questions, let y'all know where I stand at. But like I said, if somebody want to put Nadal as a favorite to win the U.S. Open, I have no problem with that. I won't argue against that. He could be the favorite. I just say my personal favorite is probably the Djokovic. But yeah, that's where I stand at. If there's anything else, I think I've answered most of the questions here about Nadal and the U.S. Open. If there's any other questions, I'll make another video about it. Okay, people, tennis, preacher, prophet, psychic, signing off.
Last one right here. Here we go. Can I dance?